it's Don Skaggs with Empowered Inventing, the one place where you can go to learn how to take your great ideas, the right opportunities, and some sound wisdom and some sound principles to work by, and take those things and turn them into real things like products and businesses. So, today I want to talk to you a little bit about an experience I had working with one of my inventor entrepreneurs that we work with here at Empowered Inventing and also at the Inventors Network Kentucky. And this particular inventor entrepreneur was at that point where they were needing to find the right components, and in their case it was connectors. Now it wasn't these are connectors, but it was sort of a different kind of connector, but I think this is a good illustration. These are like specialty connector wires that you'd find in a certain electronics industry. So I just kind of wanted to use this as an object lesson of finding and working with the right suppliers. And because at some point, every inventor and entrepreneur, whether you are going to license or whether you're going to build these and sell these yourself or some hybrid of the two, which is something else we teach a class on, you're going to want to be able to get, once you're moving through those steps, you've built your Frankentype, you've been documenting, you've picked the right idea, you've done all of these things, you've got up to this point where you're almost ready to file that provisional patent and step out into the world with it and see if it's actually going to have a market and actually going to make money for you. And when you're getting ready to do that, you're preparing certain things, and one is your demo type, and another one is your, you want to be sure that it is manufacturable. In other words, if you take it for a license, or if you're building it yourself, if you're having them made, you're going to want to be sure that you can put all the pieces together and that you can actually get out there and sell it, make them, have them work well, and have them sell, and have them work well once they're sold. So many a Kickstarter has gone bad, not because they failed to meet their sales, their number to raise, but because they weren't able to get it all together once they won their Kickstarter. So very important point on that. So anyway, you get to this point and you have to say, okay, well, how do I find the people that make this stuff? Well, you can find them out there. They're not hard to find. And every industry has its own little world, its own little universe that has their own trade association usually and their own trade shows. And the wonderful thing about living in the 21st century is you can go online, and usually every single one of these industry trade shows are online, and they have, sometimes they'll even have exhibitor lists online. You can look, and it's kind of like walking up and down the aisles without having to pay to travel and get on a plane and go to the show. So if you're strapped financially and you're just trying to find these people, you don't necessarily have to go to the trade shows to find them. You can, and a lot of them will have websites, and a lot of them are kind of traveling those same circles, so you can kind of look through there and navigate through there and find the component suppliers that you're looking for. And another thing that I really like to do is to look for component suppliers, and especially when I'm trying to find a real innovation for my product that I'm going to sell, I'll look for innovations, or I'll look for components in places that may not normally relate, kind of like strange places that you wouldn't normally find something that was used in the industry you want to go to. If you can find something that's a common solution for a problem in one industry that's never heard of in another industry, you may be onto a really cool innovation if you're solving an equally difficult problem in that other industry. So look for them in these odd to find places. Don't look always in the usual places. You look in the usual places, but also look in those places that may not, or that it may not necessarily fit, may not necessarily be. And I've sold a lot of really innovative products a lot of times because it was a common solution to a problem in one industry that had never been applied to another one that had the same problem. So anyway, you can find them in a lot of different places, and again, the web's a great place. Just be careful what you're looking for. Be sure that you find people that are, they're really working in that industry and they're really doing that. They're not just, not a some scam companies, they just want to sell inventors things. Don't go to these B2C type places. I prefer going to a B2B. Look for these professional companies that are actually doing industry type stuff, not people that are just like clearinghouses that are just selling a bunch of different stuff for just to inventors or something. So, and speaking of being professional, you want to reach out to them, and you want to reach out to these people professionally. So you have to have the right optics in place, because when you're talking to these people, they're going to want you to look professional as well. Otherwise, they're just going to pass you by. So you have to have the right optics when you are approaching them, just like when you're approaching potential customers. So you want to have maybe just a quick and dirty website, nothing expensive, just a quick and dirty presence on the web. Some little one-page website is great, and you can buy those. People can make those for you, and it can be done very, very cheaply, and you want them done cheaply. You just want a listing. I heard somebody say one time that not having a website, not having a web presence, not having a presence on the internet was equal to not having your name in the phone book in the 1980s and 1990s. And that's very, very true. You really, back then, they used to, if somebody wanted to find you, they'd take that big phone book. I know, they actually used to exist. These big phone books, and they'd have your name in it, and you'd have your phone number in it. Well, now, if you're not on the internet, you're not in the phone book. You're invisible to people. So have something on the web, and have a professional email. Get your domain. Domains are super cheap. There's lots of different places. We teach you how to find those things in some of our classes. And get out there and get you a goodie. Don't have one of these email addresses that are hotbaby@hotmail.com. Now, if somebody actually has that address, I apologize, but that's not the professional way to have it. Have your name, have or some variation of your name, or your first name dot your last name, whatever, at your domain, so it all looks smooth, it all looks seamless, it all looks professional. And have a phone number. If it's your cell phone number, make it your cell phone number. Don't have a wacky answering thing on there. You've got to separate the personal from the professional. So what I'm saying is, have the optics, have professional optics once you're out there. Get your LinkedIn profile. Those are free. And in one of our classes, we coach people on how to have a good LinkedIn page. So you want to have that. You want to have good LinkedIn, phone, email. You want to have ways for them to see you, and ways for them to reach out to you professionally. When they see you, when they're reaching out to you, they're seeing professionalism. They're not seeing just this wacky inventor working out of the garage. They will run. Suppliers will run away from you if you look like that. So also, once you start talking to them, you have to talk to them the right way. You're a product developer. You have a company. Now, maybe it's a little company, maybe it's a little micro business, that's okay. But don't go on and on about your product and just how much you're in love with it and what a wonderful thing it is. They don't want to hear that. They are there for one job. They're there to sell a widget. And they don't want to hear a bunch of unrelated things about that. Just keep it direct, keep it professional. And they'll usually ask you about quantities, because, hey, they want you to buy a trailer truckload of these things. Well, you can't buy a trailer truckload of these things. But a good pat answer for this is just ask you to say, well, this is a new product we're developing, and what we generally look for in these cases is your minimum and your first 3 price breaks. And that's always a good rule of thumb when you're doing anything new and you have something new, no matter whether you're a large company or a small company. And they'll see that, and they'll see that as a professional answer to that question. So, also when you're working with these reps, remember, again, they are there to sell widgets. They're there to sell these things. So they want to know, number one, that you're for real and that you're serious. So you've got to have those right optics. You've got to look right. You've got to present yourself correctly. It's very, very important for that. It's kind of like fake it till you make it, except you don't want to be you want to tell the truth. You want to be honest, but honestly have a very, very professional presence. And that will speak much, much louder than anything wrong that you're going to tell them. And if you, by the way, if you lie to them, if you tell them something that's not right, that's just as bad. That's actually 10 times worse. So never lie to people. That always catches up for you, especially in business. They're small little universes, and it will come back to bite you. So be honest, be serious, be professional. They want to know that you're for real. They want to know that you're serious. And remember also, these are just people. So don't be intimidated by them. Don't be intimidated by the big ABC company comes in with their big thing. They're just people. They're just reps. So just take it down a notch. Just be a little comfortable, chill out, but also treat them with respect. There's a great saying I heard somebody say, and I think I've said it a couple times on these videos before, is be good to everybody, because everybody in some way or in some fashion is having a tough time. So just remember that they're people. Treat them with respect, treat them well, treat them, they could become a good ally, a good friend for your business as you grow and as you move forward. And you're going to need them to be. So don't be intimidated, chill out, but treat them with respect. So anyway, I hope this video is helpful. Again, I'm Don Skaggs. This is Empowered Inventing TV. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure and like and subscribe. Help us build our tribe. And I will look to see you at the next meeting, workshop, maybe one of our online classes, or on the next video.